Hello.
With audio and everything. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Oh my god, I love my name.
Not the best start. 15 minutes late.
We're okay. We're here. We did it.
Yes, we are.
How's chat doing? How's everyone today? It's not an April Fool's. I promise. We're live. We were meant to be here. DK's here. DK, can you hear everyone? Okay. Audio's coming through for all of us now. Should be.
Yep, good to go.
Hope so.
Perfect. All right. So we'll keep a little bit of this open. Yeah, your boy's got a solid nameplate for today. We just wanted everyone to be sure they knew who was on today. All right. Yeah, so welcome everyone. Everyone who tunes into the stream regularly, you all know me. You've seen me basically all day every day, and I chat with you all in the Discord. Grilled Cheese Sandies. And yeah, play some games, community manager here, but these are the fun guys. These are all the new guys. So yeah, why don't Jumpgate, why don't you take it away?
Hey, is it everyone going?
Yeah, you can. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of you guys know me from chat. I've been a founder since beta. Got my tokens right after they came on the secondary, so wasn't part of that original crew, but a lot of you guys know me, and I've been around a lot in Discord. And pass it off to Nay. You want to introduce yourself to the
Yeah,
community?
so very similar. Got into the project back in October. So right when I think there was roughly like about 200 of the founder tokens sold. So picked up my first one. Later on, about a day later it took, picked up my second, and here I am now back. Like what are we now? 8 months down the line. So yeah, loving it. Recently snagged the job as a community manager here and loving it so far. So yeah, really cool. Love the game.
Great. And I am Yaboi. I am just a normal player. I play the game every day, and it's very fun.
And yeah, I mean, your boy, you were here since the beginning as well, right?
Yeah, I've been around for quite some time, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, how much? So right at the very beginning, for the people who did jump in, so like I personally, I wasn't in early enough to get in on that pre-sale, but I bought some founder tokens on the secondary market afterwards. For you guys who were here at the very, very beginning, in addition to like those founder tokens right off the bat, how much would you estimate like your initial investment? How much did you start when you were playing the game at the beginning?
So for me, it was the first initial $500, which at the time, when I initially like found the project, obviously $500 is when you're first finding something quite a large amount to spend. But after like a good day of like solid research and no sleep, and like researching the team and the game, that was like the first initial investment. But yeah, and then it just kind of spiraled from there and kept building up my NFTs, and yeah.
Jumpgate, your boy.
Yeah, I'll take it next. So after my first founder's coin, which I bought, which is my initial investment in the game, I ended up picking up a few land packs, and then a few more founders coins, and then a few more land packs, and a few more founders coins, and I think I'm somewhere deep about 4,000 to 5,000 USD from my savings, and I've put that into the game now. All of those purchases before I joined the team, those were all just purely because I love this game. It's such a fun game to me. How about you, boy?
Yeah, Mitch basically forced me to buy everything. No, he didn't. but I met Mitch before he made a game, so I was kind of aware of the projects. So before the game launched, I purchased 10 founders coins in the initial sale. So I basically put in 5k, and I have been pretty much riding on that since.
That's super impressive. Did you all did that initial valuation, right? Where you like looked at the cost of the founder coin and went, "Wait, no, there's no way it's worth like how much value you were getting out of that initial sale?
Oh, I remember like this is too good to be true. This no way. And I like made my friends purchase some, and apparently it was correct. It's a great value.
It just keeps going up. It keeps getting more valuable.
Exactly, and for those of you that don't know what the founder token is, if this is your first time here as well, it was for initial backers, and as part of the benefit of holding one of these tokens, you actually receive 52 packs, and this is a pack a week. So the pack was actually initially a building pack, which included 5 separate NFTs, and that could be any rarity from common all the way up to mythic. And this still is a thing, albeit you won't receive the full 52 packs because we're halfway through it. But there's loads of benefits to the founder token, and yeah, you should go check it out.
Yeah,
100%.
More stuff added on all the time. Yeah, so like all of us, I think, like I didn't manage to get in on that initial sale, but I saw the hype and I saw the value, and I purchased actually the first founder token on the secondary. It was pretty huge, a little bit higher than maybe I would have wanted, but I was really high on the project, really excited. So how did you leverage that initial investment into like a regular earnings, and sort of like how do you track it? How do you know how much you're earning a day? What were you most excited for with that initial batch?
So I would say that at the beginning of the game, I was probably earning some to $20 to maybe even $30 a day. I mean, if you knew what you were doing right off the gate, you could make a little bit of money. I mean, if you really knew how to play. And I think as the game's been going on, if you keep a steady investment in the game, that the rate of return has only gotten better for me. I think there were a couple days when I made some right choices where I was able probably about $100 to $110, USD, pulling out maybe about 300 wax a day. And I don't do a lot of earnings tracking. I didn't join from a speculative or an earnings I really like the way the game plays. If this was not a play to earn game, I would probably still play Million on Mars. I was really interested in the Steam game. I do play the Steam game. So I'm maybe a little less diligent than some of my fellow players on exactly tracking how much Dusk I make.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. So I'm not that organized when it comes to tracking. I tried it. I've like played around with the inventory spreadsheet and filled in everything that I wanted to put into there. But I pretty much focus on like reinvesting everything that I make like in game, like Dusk wise, back into mostly upgrades. Like upgrades are so important. From like when I first started the game, I didn't realize how important they were, mostly because of the amount of NFTs that I amassed. I just didn't need to. But the development process, following that has then just totally changed how I'm playing the game. So like, for those of you that don't know, like some of the tasks are like level locked. So some of the higher earning tasks, especially, you'll need like say a level 3 like greenhouse to plant coffee. Or is it level 2? Is it level 2 cruelty? It's one of the two. But I mean this just goes to show the amount of stuff that's in the game. You'll never be short of something to learn, you'll never be short of something to do. And yeah, I love it. I mean, I've been here 8 months and I'm still learning every day. Every day is a school day, as they say. So
I love that you tossed it to me for what level is it for coffee, with the amount of times I've said I don't grow coffee.
Coffee is actually my thing as well. That's one of my main crafting loops. But yeah.
And Yaboi, how do you track your earnings? Do you have a process or a?
What is earnings? No, for me it's just pure chaos, because initially I didn't have a plan. I just did things and it kind of worked out in my favor, because I still have all the land from that initial sale.
Mm-hmm.
Like space wasn't a problem to me, buildings wasn't a problem to me. So the next thing I kind of looked at was upgrades when that system came, and especially upgrading a lot of buildings during the old upgrade events that we had, and still continuing to do so to this day. So I just spent, like, I think Lamp checked it and it said close to 90k or something, just in upgrade fees. So I have been
Huge.
upgrading a lot of things.
And do you know if that number that he quoted, was that your actual Dusk spent, or do you know if that included like what you saved on the upgrade event?
No, that was the actual Dusk spent.
Okay, that's impressive.
A lot
I
of
don't know my
anyway.
numbers, but yeah, nowhere near as high as that. Probably like 8 to 10k, like maybe on upgrades. But yeah, and that's because I was kind of late to the party. So yeah.
And so like all that money spent, Yaboi, is like in addition to you were actually able to take profit from the game recently, right?
Yeah, some has probably caught the 120k Dusk withdrawal the last week, and I'm still surprised that the Dusk price went up after I sold it, which is insane considering the liquidity we have.
Well, that just shows us, you know, the types of players that we've got, and you know the community we've built. People love the game, so and they're recognizing the value of in game how much, you know, Dusk can help them. So yeah, no,
that's so true, because people need it, and I just came to a point where I figured I don't really need to spend the Dusk in game now, so maybe I can take a bit out to like get some of the initial investment back, and it worked out perfectly. It was great.
Do you how much, what price point did you hit for, like, you know, your average for all of that Dusk that was coming out?
I think I sold it on average for about 11.5 Dusk per backs, which is not as good as of a deal as players who withdraw today will get.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know what it's sitting at today, but I feel like it's only gone up.
I think it's plain 10, almost.
Yeah, it's impressive. So yeah, sorry, and yeah, we were all talking a little bit about like the upgrades that we've thrown into our buildings and like money that we've invested there so far. And so we've seen developments to like a bunch of different buildings over time. Which buildings have we seen the best outputs from the Dusk that we've put in for the upgrades so far?
Definitely the solar panel. I mean, that's the solar panel by far is probably your best bet. The mining rig, you know, if you get that leveled up, that's been a really good earner for people. We've got the greenhouse. You know, that was changed a little bit recently. I think if you had an upgraded greenhouse, I think you're doing pretty well right now with your soy production and your coffee production, like Nay was asking about. You know, I think you know there's definitely some thought to be put into how far and how high you want to upgrade your buildings, and you know, really play around with where you want to be in the game. You know, do you want to do everything? You might need to have every building leveled up as high as it can go, but maybe if you want to, you know, focus on something specific, you might not need to level up every building all the way to 5 or 10 if it's a common, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think you hit a great timeline too, where you're really pointing out like, okay, so for like newer players that might be watching and wondering like which building should I be investing in, you hit, you know, exactly what we did in order. First it was if you upgraded your mining rig, you got more slots. Then solars, then greenhouse, then... So if you're wondering like what should you be investing in, invest in like whichever building you care the most about. Like that's totally okay. It'll be improved in the future in the same way that we've seen from these current buildings, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Where we had... Oh yeah, this is an interesting. So if you were a new player, if you're coming into the game now, and where would you invest your money? What would you put it into? What would you buy? You know, at whatever scale you want to talk about.
So for someone brand new, and just to wrap your head around like how the crafting loops work, 100%, it goes without saying, and you probably know what I'm going to say, it's like solar. So, you know, just getting used to, you know, how the marketplace works, finding the marketplace, and like that's one of the things that like Nick, you've mentioned yourself before, a lot of our players don't realize that the marketplace even exists. So look at the top of the page, guys. Like there's a, just scroll across. I think it's like the middle tab on the left-hand side. There's a marketplace there. It's full of items, and you really need to start using it. So this is where you will buy empty power cells. Obviously, you can find them scavenging as well. That's cool. But just if you're not doing so well scavenging and you didn't manage to find a power cell, just go over there. Just buy one. Just test it. It's usually about 8-9 dusk, depending on where the market is. Charge it up in a solar panel, depending on the level. Obviously, that'll decide how long this is going to take. Once it's done, collect it and sell it, and then there you go. You've made some profit.
So I'm seeing some names in chat, right? We got Devious, we got Transformation. Like, these are guys who are playing pretty regularly. Of course, you're all shocked to hear that people don't use the marketplace, but like, I think it's like 50%, like half the players or so don't use the marketplace. So
Yeah.
it's out there.
It's a massive part of my game, so
Check it out.
yeah.
Great opportunities to be had.
Absolutely.
So for someone coming into the game, a new player, if they are like a major investor, a big person coming in, I think I'd ask Yaboi. So Yaboi, if you hadn't made that initial investment, you had the same amount of money and you're coming to the game now, what are you picking up for that same level of investment?
Okay, then I would just where is Steve when we need him? He he just came in and bought up a lot of land, like old Gen 1 land, because he doesn't want to like play the game as much as he wants to bring people in. So he would go for like more valuable stuff like the founders token and get some value appreciation from them. But as a regular rich player, I would probably shoot for like the end game loops quite fast.
Right.
Like begin with solos, get the feel for the game, get that cycle, and just expand in the direction of mining rigs and probably rovers and libraries.
There you go.
From that initial,
any of the biggest players, that's where you're going. The next one I would say is for Jumpgate. So if you're a big player, but you have like a similar Yaboi level of investment, you're coming into the game, but you have that big background. Could you talk a little bit about like some of the guild investment opportunities? I figure you maybe a little more familiar.
Yeah, there's definitely, for anybody that has a guild, there's definitely opportunities in Million on Mars, for you to bring your guild in and whether you have members or you have scholars or you have any sort of organizational format, we really do have a flexible system to allow you to, either have, the simplest settler where, they get an access badge and they join you on your land, personal land, and do you some favors in exchange for a rental fee. Or there's the bigger side of things where you could possibly get a whole area of the map to yourself and fill that up with some land and you share that around with your guild mates. There's definitely some opportunities to be had there.
We've touched on like all of these different ideas from all of these guys, and then Devious has the one word answer in chat there. Like if you've got a bunch of money and you're coming into the game, what do you buy? Land.
Yep.
And the buildings to put on
Don't
top
go
of
wrong
it.
with land.
Yeah. Land is good. Solars are good. Yeah. So like getting into maybe some of our like the gameplay loops that we're touching on like from a day-to-day basis. Like what stuff are you guys turning on? I guess are you all hitting 300 job limit? Is that a factor for your daily decision making?
I can.
Right.
I generally don't. Actually, I have kind of a set list of buildings that I make sure I'm always running, and then if I get time and I have the opportunity to run the other ones, I'll fill them all up. The solar definitely, the mining rigs definitely. Make sure the cantinas are running. Sabs right now for me, I got to make sure I'm getting my methane, make sure I get my hydrogen. The oxygen seems necessary in the future, so let's stock some of that up. Not really running the smelters right now. I don't think I've put any power into those guys for a while. I think the marketplace is taking care of my needs for ore. Definitely running the machine shops, the plates, good to stockpile for the future.
And
Yeah.
sorry, when you're going through all of those, what's your limiting factor in a day then? What's stopping you from hitting like 300 jobs? Is it not enough buildings, or not enough power, or not enough time?
Probably prioritization,
Yeah, okay.
lack of desire to post job orders sometimes, lack of Dusk sometimes. I don't think it's the same issue twice.
Sure, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say it though, as well, because like it kind of goes back to like for me, like it goes back to the upgrade thing. So sometimes I can get overexcited with my upgrades.
Mhm.
So I can cash flow, and this game is all about cash flow, and you've got to be like 2, 3, 4 steps ahead, like all the time, and plan as much as you can. So like I will often, if I like at the moment, I'm trying to work on upgrading my chem labs. Um, Shards, they're a bit cheaper than they used to be right now, but
Mhm.
you have to buy a lot of them for the higher rarities. So like with the legendaries, like just to get to level 1, level 2, you need 75, and this scales the higher you go, right? So you might see a really good deal and think, oh, I need to buy all these while they're cheap, forgetting that, oh, none of my buildings are running. I probably should have done that first. So then you have to go back into the market, which is why we said before it's so important. You have to go back into the market and start selling things off. So like for me, like I'm more recently, I had to start selling off my hoard of coffee seeds, which I loved. But I flipped it for a nice profit, and that was cool. But I was sad to let them go, and it was my own fault for making a really silly upgrade path move. But I mean, I say silly, but it's going to pay itself off in the end in
Mhm.
some way. Like it's going to be useful. So
Yeah. It's
no
it's
action is done in vain, as I always say. So
it's Dusk earned, right? You're making money.
yeah,
And
exactly.
your boy, I'm so curious. How do you
Of
decide
course.
which buildings to turn on in your, massive
Yeah,
empire?
I need to abandon some buildings quite often because I have a lot more potential workspace than workspace. So my solars are always running. The machine shop gets a priority. Surprisingly, the smelters have been running quite hot sometimes because I need a lot of copper.
Mhm.
So I often just make it myself. And then there's of course the 3D print shops and the gem labs for the parts of rovers, which I so desperately need sometimes.
I think
But
that's a good call out for new players. Sorry, you go ahead.
yeah, but for me, I have not prioritized like the CADs and greenhouses and water filters recently because there is simply not enough work tasks,
Mm.
and they only take like 1 stamina each. So if I need them, I rather just spend my own stamina.
Oh,
To,
gotcha.
so I want like the highest stamina jobs on my
Yeah,
work list plus the solos because solos are so essential.
interesting.
Yeah. Take notes,
Um,
guys.
yeah. So when I was gonna say there is, it's a really good call out for new players. So if you're getting into the game and you're wondering like, what thing can I make that the guy with all the money is gonna pay me for? There you go. It's copper ore. You make your copper and you sell it to your boy.
Oh, please, I need liquidity.
As we set the masses to copper production. um, yeah, and so like just talking about some of the buildings and what we're using and what we're operating in, I wanted to talk like a little bit about some of the special buildings and like which ones you choose to hang out in the most and what ones you're finding have good or consistent or not so consistent returns. Yeah, if anyone, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so for me it was the cantina, and I was so late to the party with the cantina. I'm devastated. Like like everybody in chat was talking about it and like saying it was so like amazing, but it is like full disclosure, like to upgrade to where it is really usable, then it takes a bit of a either a bit of an investment or a good grind to get up to there. But yeah, I only actually finally got my cantina to level 5, and it was only like maybe 3 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been playing it for 8 months, so all that time lost. But yeah, for me it's definitely the cantina. I'm immediately seeing the difference in Dusk and the cash flow from it is just insane. Like every 5 hours it's pushing on average 350 roughly. Like usually that's what I'll see.
That was a great, like, if anyone heard my watch go off earlier, that was the timer. It was the Cantina timer.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, Jumpgate, Yaboi. Favorite special building? Any good earnings you're finding?
Cantina, followed by Pirate Radio, since he touched on the Cantina enough already. Pirate Radio, definitely second favorite special building. It's come out to be an absolute home run star.
Yeah.
You know, vibes weren't for Dusk like they are right about now. You know, when they were trading at about 1 Dusk, and power was a little bit cheaper overall. It really was a great earner if you were able to get up to the higher levels. Surprisingly enough, the best rate of return on your money was, I think, at that 2 to 3 level Pirate Radio there. You know, if you had more of them spread out across your land, it's a little bit better there for you on how quickly you're going to get your Dusk back. But, you know, if the people that went straight for the 10s, you know, they were seeing a ton of stamina, extra gain a day. They were, you know, seeing a ton of Dusk extra gain a day. And, you know, if you're one of those players like Yaboi or somebody that has a lot of land that needs that extra stamina to keep their land running, you know, there's no better building than the Pirate Radio right now.
Yeah. We have Dyson Man over here saying the tea shop is the best ROI.
Oh, interesting.
What do you think about that? I haven't really touched the tea shop that much. Like, I think the highest I've got, maybe like level 2, and it's just pushing out Baiju, and like that's it. I don't do anything else with it.
What's your favorite special building, Yaboi?
Do I need to tell everyone?
Oh yeah. Oh, we can go there. We can talk about it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the bazaar. I have been spending a lot of time in there. to the point where I built a plot with just 10 maxed out bazaars to get more time efficient.
So, I mean, you saw great earnings from the bazaar. Do you want to talk a little bit about, like, have you played there much since the recent changes to the bazaar, and like how are you finding the rate of return since the changes?
I haven't seen it too much. I haven't had time or shards basically, because I just emptied my inventory before the changes just in case, which probably wasn't a good idea, to be honest. Because I've noticed that before you got like half your shards back, and like 50% of the shards you got back was from the higher rarity, so you kind of built yourself up. That's not the case anymore. Now you only get like 15 to 20% of your shards back, so you get to roll them once. And if you want to grind up for those house rolls, you're going to need a lot more shards. And if people want to use the shards to actually upgrade the buildings, as they should, I'm pretty sure that the intended price of shards will increase over time. That's what I'm going to predict, especially for the mythical ones. Those are going to be harder to combine. To come by.
I just love that in between jab of like, upgrade your buildings. What are you all doing? Oh, that's great.
It's needed.
And yeah, I mean, some people are seeing special shards now dropping from the bazaar on those high rolls without too much investment, like 2 of your house rolls on a mythic. So like anyone who's pulling library shards out of that, especially when there weren't any available in the shop, like that's big gains. That's really, they're hard to come by right now. Yeah, sorry, we were going to talk a little bit about the tea shop, I guess. Collectively, we can touch on.
So it's just what Dyson Man put in chat just now. So, yeah, Dyson Man seems to think tea shop is best ROI.
Best ROI. So,
I can't comment. I barely use it. So, I mean, Dyson Man, if you're still there, let us know what you're doing with that. But
I do have a good authority that he may have been doing some ceramics.
Yeah, no, I've done that twice, and it didn't work out very well for me. So.
He may have hit 2,000 Dusk on a couple of those.
Oh wow,
He's
yeah.
biased then. That's a bias.
So yeah, I think if you run the tea shop and you get 2,000 Dusk every time you run the task, that's really good returns.
You know, you're not wrong.
I have a confession.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen the range of Dusk from that task. I haven't touched the tea shop.
Okay.
Might need to buy a little bit of regular if it seems.
Well, it's, you know, on average, I think it does make money. It earns some amount of Dusk. And obviously, the better your hits are over time. If you've got the capacity, like you do, or like some of the bigger players do, to run it often enough, I think you do see a net positive from those tasks for sure.
Yeah, that's what you have to be prepared to do as well. Like, you have to be prepared to, you know, go the full length of it. Don't just, like I did, to be honest. So I gave up after 2. But yeah, you have to do like 30, 40, 50 times and be prepared to run it that many times before you know, it averages out. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think the average is somewhere around 5 Dusk right now gained for ceramics. So, you know, keep that in mind.
Ashen Hood also says ROI of the tea shop higher than the library. So I just wanted to say on this one that, like, I don't think players should be thinking of the library as a Dusk ROI investment vehicle. Like, that's not what the library is there for. The library is there to eventually unlock skills and tech and recipes and, like, be the cornerstone for all of the future stuff that's coming. So I mean, if anyone, I haven't done those Dusk earning recipes in there. I don't know if any of you have.
No, not yet.
Or I
haven't
I
either.
don't feel like, yeah, it's worth it right now. But yeah, just run them
I've
one
been
of
trying
each.
to research. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, 100% research all the way. Well, one of each. I have a level 2 library and a level 3 library. Yeah, that works best for me right now.
Because I think if you do the math, like, the ROI on the library tasks is probably money earned because it's relatively cheap Dusk inputs, but it is a long wait and it is, you know, not that many task slots for what it is. It's an unlock tool, not a Dusk earning tool currently, at least. I've gotten a lot of soil. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, ceramics will net you a lot of soil in the long run. If the library is essential, maybe it will be restocked on shops and drops. Yes.
Yep.
Give it some time. Excuse me. So yeah, we've talked a lot about all of our different buildings and everything we've got running in our empires. For me, for a long time, the limiting factor was how many solars I was making a day. Until I made way more solar panels than I could use, and then I actually had to sell off some of my solar farms because they were sitting idle. Which I never thought I'd get to that point, but, you know, here we are. So, how do you all decide when you have enough solar capacity to run everything that you need to? Like, are you doing spreadsheets and doing math? Is it a feeling? Or are you just looking at cells? Yeah.
I'm kind of unorganized with these things, like I said, but I just like smash buttons and hope it works. Honestly, like that's mostly what my gameplay's like. It's like, yeah, I'll try, but I mean, it's hard with timings as well. Like, I'm not like one of those players that will set a timer like yourself. I'd love to be that organized and like so efficient, but I'm just not. I'll spend like quite a lot of time playing and especially researching, like all the time. I say things change all the time, but.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll keep them going until I run out of Dusk, which is often. So.
Not running cells except when I need empty ones. Sure, yeah. So, I mean, that's my personal indicator. If I am going to turn stuff on and I have no power cells, it's a little more awkward when it happens on stream. But that's how I know. Are you like Jumpgate, Yaboi? Are either of you like? Do you do spreadsheets? Do you track like I have this many buildings, I need this many power cells? Like, is anyone that organized?
I can say that I keep a basic inventory spreadsheet for when I'm curious to how much Dusk everything's worth, and then I did build a little bit of a Cantina spreadsheet. You know, right when that came out, just to kind of check my numbers to make sure what I was doing was really good.
Mm-hmm. Are you?
Other than that, no.
Are you like net power cells? Are people gaining them right now?
Depends on what I do, but yeah, I have a decent amount of power generation.
Okay, because yeah, I mean, chat's saying like we saw Ham maybe some players with like 1,000 power cells or something. That's
did at one point. But
Joe,
sold
nobody
them off.
else do it.
That's wild. Yaboi, how many power cells are you sitting at? You net gaining, net losing?
I am, as you know, chaotic, so I have just accepted that I will never be able to produce enough power myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I just fill up my buildings and suddenly, oh, I'm out of power, I just go to a marketplace, put in a buy order of 500 power cells at 20 Dusk or something, and then just get them instantly and just sell the empty power cells. I don't do spreadsheets.
There you go.
I
So
do.
if people can predict your movements, then you could get some good
Then-
Dusk off of your power cells.
Yeah, that's an inside joke. If you know my sleep schedule, you can get profits.
Dyson Man, listing power at 19 from now on.
No.
Everybody
Oh.
needs to take down your boy now. That's it. We'll get him. We'll get him.
That's good.
If everybody cooperates, you might be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tempt us.
So, yeah, I guess, we've talked about lots of the buildings. We haven't touched on Roverworks much, though. So, like, how many rovers are everybody running? Maybe can we do this from your boy going last?
So
Yeah.
I'll start. I have 5. I was running 5 Explorer rovers, and I didn't turn them on today. I didn't do it when I woke up this morning, and I haven't gotten the time since. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think they're on a rotating task schedule now, so
Mhm.
whether it's advanced scavenging Explorer mission or it's 2.1 there, we'll get a good look at that and decide whether we're going to send those guys out on their first mission since the update.
I think that first one moved by too fast for me to even really get a feel for what was in it, right? When the update came.
Mm-hmm.
Nay, how many rovers you got?
Well, there's a funny story about that. So I don't know if Steve's about, but to be honest, I've only ever had 2. So I've had 1 Explorer and 1 Hauler. Probably be surprised to know that actually. So I had my Explorer, and they were roughly worth at the time about 3 to 4k in Dusk.
Yeah.
I hit a double when I was going like through the crafting loop of making a chassis. So I had a spare chassis lying around. I thought that put this up for sale for 1,000 Dusk. I had not. I had put my Explorer rover up for 1,000 Dusk. Didn't realize. Come back, check my order list. You can probably guess what happened next. But it was a saving grace. The guy that actually bought it, thankfully, was Steve. So he's agreed to give me it back after renting it for a little while.
Well, that's nice at least. That's a happy ending to that story.
Yeah, that's it. I was glad it went to him and not just like a random player somewhere across the world because I never would have got it back. So. But yeah, I'm happy with it.
It's not the worst sales story. I mean, I think I listed an Epic print shop, just trying to get some amount of money, and I listed it for 1, and it sold for 2.
Oh no!
So, whoops. So I've got I've got a fleet of maybe like 20-ish Explorer rovers. And I just, I didn't look too much into the tasks. I just sent them out. So on average, 1 of mine will explode. So with my luck, probably like 5 of them will come back dead today, whenever that next cycle comes in. Wasn't really sure which task was going to be better or worse. So I just kind of sent out a mix of some ore and some shards. But this is I'm very curious, Yaboi, what rover actions you've taken now that the changes have come.
Well, I'm going to spoil everybody of my strategy, so it's probably not going to work, but hear me out. Now we are kind of back to like square one, where Rovers was at the release, where you had safe missions and you had risky missions.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when everybody was like trying to get their mining rigs. I I built my rover work. I sent the little guy out, and he came back with free stuff, and I was like, whoa, I need more of these. So at that point, I kind of traded my mining rigs for rover works and started building hauling rovers a lot. And I think I made like 40 or something before the change came that made explorers like the meta. And then I built 100 explorers, and now we're back to needing haulers again. So it's kind of like I think I might change back to haulers. Maybe I want to ruin some of my explorers just to get the broken rovers to get more parts, because aluminium is expensive at the moment. So
Is that, you said 40, like 40?
yeah.
Ah. And how many total? Is that 40 haulers you're saying?
Yeah, right now I have like 140 rover spaces. So I have about 40 haulers, and I have the number here, 113 explorers.
So
Yep.
if you're looking for what to build, that's it. All the rovers that you can.
The first rover is always the hardest one to build.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes easier.
So, like with that many rovers, presumably are you hitting all of the options available to you? Like, are you hitting all those land surveys and, trying all the different missions?
I did the first, like the Generation 1 land service, but I haven't actually picked up the Generation 2 yet. Mostly because it's free legendary land. Who doesn't want it? But I'm still at the point where I kind of don't need it, and I kind of don't want to wait 90 days for it. That's just me being like, I don't want to lose a rover spot when I can send them out that many times. I quickly did the math, and I was like, I kind of want the spot.
Right.
Because rover works are expensive.
Yeah, so you did a rough crunch on like number of trips over that amount of time and what they'd bring back. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's a cool way to look at it.
Just real quick as well. We've just been speaking about the land surveys. Just if in case there is anybody new here, these are actually in the in-game shop. So what they are, there's 3 different rarities. So it starts at uncommon. No, it doesn't. It starts at rare, then it goes to epic and also legendary. So, just to quickly go through what this is. So for rare, it's you have to stake in 10,000 Dusk for 30 days, and you have to have exploration or explorer rover task down. So you need a rover X, you need an explorer rover, obviously, and then you purchase the token, you run the task. After 30 days, you'll get your rare land back, and this scales up. So and these are all Gen 2 lands right now. For the epic lands, this is 15k Dusk. And the legendary lands, it's 25k Dusk. So with legendary, there's only 5 left. For epic, there's 22 left. And for rare, there's 70 left. So quite a few. But, if you just want to get the rare one, you get your Dusk back at the end of it as well. Just totally glossed over that. So... yeah, if you've got it lying around, then
kind of an important key piece there.
It's very important. Like I wouldn't pay 10,000 Dusk for a land. Full disclosure. Not right now, anyway. Maybe one day, but not right now.
And so like your boy has done the math and decided like the time and whatever, and it's not worth it. Personally, I'm very bad at hoarding my Dusk. I think I go between 0 and 2,000, and then it sort of evaporates every time. Yep. So. These are great vehicles for me where I can take a bunch of Dusk and put it somewhere where I'm not going to mess it up for a while, and eventually I'll get it back.
It's a good savings account. Yeah, protecting yourself from yourself. I like it.
Oh yeah, my Dusk just disappears. I swear I'll start a day with like multiple thousands, and then I don't know where it goes. Maybe I pay too much for jobs. Yeah, so have we had a few things come in from our chat over time here, haven't we? We're kind of addressing some as they came, but I think this is an interesting one for you, boy. So with your mass amount of mythics, rovers, upgrades, so your giant empire, I guess you had mentioned like profits weren't like the main factor, and you were a little more chaotic. What drives you to keep playing? What's the excitement factor? Where does the fun come from for you if profits aren't the main drive?
Oh, that needs to go back to the childhood, actually. Because when I was a little boy, there was this browser game. The first one I ever played. It was named Travian.
Oh, I played Travian.
Yeah, you played it.
Yeah.
And there was like you could upgrade your buildings, you could wage war on your neighbors.
Yeah.
But I didn't have access to a PC all the time. Sometimes it went like days before I could come back just to find my base raided. That was devastating.
Dyson Man played Travian. For those who haven't played Travian, you excel in the game by never going to sleep. If you can play 24/7, you're going to be better than anyone else.
So, yeah, I just kind of got to the point where, like, now I can be the one who builds the wonder of the world. That's a reference.
Yeah.
And that's like my goal here, like, get them all.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we all, we saw the artifacts come out, and there was a big push for those as well. And I assume that sort of falls into that same flavor for you of owning a wonder of the world.
Sure.
You want to talk a little bit about which artifacts you went for and why?
Yeah, I have I have 2 bachelor's degrees. So the first one I got was definitely chemicals by Curie, because that's a very famous scientific name, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing stories that I've read throughout the years from her. And also I got the hammer of Metis. How do you say it?
Metis. We've clarified
Metis.
this for anyone who missed the last.
Yeah, we discussed this on the last Twitch. I wasn't on the Twitch. I was just like in chat. And Nick, I'm gonna blow you up here. It was Nick was calling it matey.
Right.
And I was just in chat, and I was thinking, he sounds like a pirate. That's definitely not matey. There's no
Yeah.
way.
So Métis is a reference to like a Canadian indigenous tribe, and so that's what's been ingrained in me for the pronunciation of that word. Metis is correct. Metis is the name of the ore for anyone tuning in and anyone who needed the correction. Sorry, boy. Go ahead.
Yeah, and like I got the hammer of Metis because hammer was my call name in the army, and I also always got drunk like drinking hammer vodka. So there you go.
Interesting.
It had the name hammer in it, and I just wanted it.
Well, it means something to you, which is why people usually buy, a specific NFT.
It's
or
silly.
in your case, edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went initially after the one that had Elon Musk's likeness, so didn't not too much thought went into that one.
And I live next door, so that's my claim to fame.
There you go. Yeah. Took a seat right next to it. But yeah, well, we've got a little bit of time here at the end, despite firing off a little late. So if there are questions in chat, you're welcome to ask them. We'll start piling some up and trying to address some.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, as well, just out of interest, is there anybody in chat that hasn't played the game or isn't a current player of the game? Just pop a little hello in the chat.
Yeah, if you're a first time player, if you're just making your way by, maybe reach out. We got all the community managers here on one call, so lots of support all in one room.
Absolutely.
And Yaboi, how long till you join the community manager team?
You wish.
One of us.
You don't cooperate with enemy.
Yeah, no.
Ooh.
No. For full clarity, it's a joke for people watching.
April Fools. Woo.
Not a leak.
Yeah. I mean, we can have a bit of a scroll back.
Yeah, we may have missed some there.
I was trying to keep them coming as we were rolling. We may have just hit all the questions that people had, though. But yeah, if we That can't address that. Sorry.
I can very quickly
Nope,
put
I
this
think
into-
we can't address that. That's fine. We will probably call it a day here. Hey, is this a browser game linked with the one on Steam? Hey, perfect. Yes, excellent question. Yes, so this is the browser game. If you haven't already, someone drop a link in the chat. Let's grab it for them. You can make your way to the browser to play Million on Mars. If you are a first-time player, please reach out to us. Somebody send the Million on Mars Twitch a DM. Come to the Discord, say hi to any of the community managers. We'll help you out. We'll get you connected. Speculation time for settlements. Do you think we'll be able to join with other players to build bigger settlements, or will it be individual? If you have information, settlements habitats appear to favor whales and settlements. Will there be content for in-between players? Sell me metal bits. That's okay. Everyone's more interested in metal bits. Cool. I could talk a little bit about settlements and habitats. So we will have settlements and habitats coming in the future. We've already talked a little bit about you need multiple lands connected together to benefit from them. And the last bit there, content for in-between players. So yeah, you'll be able to use settlements. You'll be able to be part of a settlement without having to have your land connected in. So you can still work together without having to, conjoin your land or be one conglomerate. Just loads of opportunity to play with other players coming in the future. So keep an eye out for more accurate and succinct updates on that in the future. And I think with that, we'll call it a day.
Yeah, good. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thank you so much, Yaboi, for taking the time to hang out with the three of us.
No problem.
And tell us and leak all your strategies and tell everyone what you're up to.
Yeah.
And yeah, the ROI is out there, and I hope you heard enough from us to know it's all available. Thank you, everyone, and we'll catch you all around the Discord sometime. Later.
Thanks, everyone.
Have
See
a
you.
good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.